Good morning, everybody. I hope you've had a lovely start to the first week back after half term, and I hope you managed to enjoy your half term. Now, this week you may have seen, and you may have already done some activities, but this week is Aspirations Week. Okay, so this week we're looking at lots of different jobs and learning about lots of different qualifications that you can get and things like that. So this morning I just want to talk to you a bit more about aspirations. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, so as we know, this week is Aspirations Week for everyone at Eton Park Academy. Okay, so what are aspirations? So when you hear the word aspiration, what does it make you think of? So have a little think at home. When you hear the word aspirations, what does it make you think of? Okay, so aspirations are our hopes or dreams of achieving something. If we have clear aspirations, it can help us to plan to achieve our goals. Okay, so aspirations could be in terms of your career, what you want to do in life. Do you want to go traveling? What qualifications you want to get? So they can be anything that you put your mind to and any goals that you want to achieve. Okay, so why should we try to be aspirational? So it's important because it helps us to reach our full potential. So it helps us to do exactly what we're capable of. And if we push ourselves, sometimes we can surprise ourselves with the things that we can actually achieve. So if we can aspire to do or to be something, it can help us to work out what steps we need to take to get there. So I know some of you this week are going to be thinking about your aspirations and looking at what you need to do to be able to get there. It can help us to keep motivated when things don't go according to plan. So later on in my assembly, we're going to look at people who it wasn't smooth sailing for them to get where they are, and it didn't go according to plan, but they never gave up, and we're going to see what happened to them. So they can help us to develop ways to overcome these obstacles, so to have a bit of resilience and to not give up straight away. Okay, so we're going to look at some aspirational people and how they achieve their goals. So Marcus Rashford is a very famous footballer, but he's been in the news recently for a very, very different reason. So when he was a child, his family relied on free school meals and the kindness of others to keep them fed. His mum worked extremely hard to support them, but unfortunately they didn't have enough money, so they relied on other people to help them to feed himself and his family. So he worked very hard training to become a footballer, and he joined the academy system at just 7 years old. So you join there and then you join different clubs to become a professional footballer. So during the COVID-19 lockdown, he successfully persuaded the UK government to continue the free vouchers for children during the summer holidays, so that children all across the country didn't go hungry over the summer holidays and they had a way of being fed. So he is working with supermarkets and food manufacturers to help reduce child food poverty, ensuring that fewer children go hungry. So he's working really, really hard to make sure that children are fed and they are not going hungry, which is a fabulous thing to do, as well as being a professional footballer. He's trying so hard to help other people. Then we've got another young lady who just wanted to go to school. She wanted to fight for her rights and the rights of other girls to go to school. So unfortunately, she comes from a country where it's illegal for girls to go to school, but she wanted to fight for that. So even though she was shot and she had to leave her home country, she continued to study and her campaign to be able to go to school. And she's the youngest ever winner of the Nobel Prize. And she went to Oxford University, which is one of the best universities in the world. So she didn't give up, and she didn't just accept that she was a female, so she couldn't do certain things, and she kept fighting. So I wonder if you could talk to your people at home about any more examples of aspirational people that you know about. So we've heard about Marcus Rashford, and we've heard about this young lady as well. I wonder if you know any more aspirational people, and maybe you could share them with your teachers. Okay, so how do these people achieve their goals? Well, thinking about the two people that we've just spoken about, they set their expectations high. They know they can push themselves to achieve the very, very best. They don't just settle for mediocre and okay, I can do that. They always push themselves, and they think about the steps that they need to take them there to get where they need to go. And there's that word again, being resilient. Keep going even when things aren't going to plan. And they used their influence and experience to help them. So they knew that they could make a difference, and they used everything they could to help them. So thinking about your aspirations, so what is it you aspire to do? Perhaps you want a certain career, perhaps you're very good at sport, or you've got a hobby that you want to become really good at. What is something that you want to achieve in your life? So I put on Dojo the other day that the reason I wanted to be a teacher was that I had amazing teachers myself at primary school, and I wanted to be just like them when I grew up. I wonder if you could talk to the people in your household as well and ask them what their aspirations were and what they are now, and share your aspirations with people around you. Then you can think about what steps you need to take to reach your goals. How are you going to get there? So this girl says, if I want to be a doctor, I will have to work hard in science at school to make sure that I can keep studying it. I could also do some first aid training to learn new skills and ensure that it is what I really want to do. So trying things out first to make sure you know that's exactly what you want to do is a really good idea. So here, I would love to be an Olympic swimmer. I already swim for a club, but to get really good, I'll have to go to all the training sessions, even the ones really early in the morning. So sometimes you might have to make sacrifices, which means you might have to give things up to reach your aspirations. But if it's something you really want to do, then obviously you won't mind doing that. And don't forget, aim high, dream big, and put in the time and effort to achieve your goals, and you can do anything that you want. Okay, so I found this video of Will Smith. Hopefully it's going to play. Going to work, children. I am so sorry. What I will do is I will put the link online if I can't work out how to play it, or I can go on and play it afterwards. But basically what Will Smith says, and if you know Will Smith, he's a very famous rapper and TV star and film star, and what he says is it's not about talent for him. He says he's not particularly talented himself, but what made him get to where he is and very famous was how hard he was willing to work. So I will find that link for you and I'll post it later on for you to watch, because it is really inspirational. But remember, you don't have to be the most talented person in the world as long as you work hard. Okay, so going back to some of the people that found it particularly tricky, or it wasn't an easy path for them to get to where they needed to go. This first person, he was kicked off of his football team as a child because he was smaller than the other children, and that was because of a growth hormone deficiency. So he was kicked off the team and told that he would never be good enough because he was so small, and I'll show you who that person is now. So you may recognise that's Lionel Messi, who is one of the most famous footballers in the world. But as a child, he was told that he was too small to be a footballer, but he didn't give up. Next, we've got a very, very famous person who didn't speak until the age of 4. So he couldn't say anything until he was 4 years old. And that's older than some of our children in nursery. And he was told he would never amount to much, so he wouldn't do much in his life. And that person is Albert Einstein, who is one of the most famous scientists in the world. And they told him he wouldn't do much. The next person was told that he had no original ideas, so he wasn't very good at coming up with ideas. That person was removed from a company that he started, and that's Steve Jobs, who came up with the company Apple. So all the iPhones, all the iPads that we have are because of Steve Jobs, but he was removed from a company and told that he had no ideas. Then we've got Walt Disney. He was also told that he had no original ideas, and he's the man that's responsible for all the Disney films and Mickey Mouse. He created the character of Mickey Mouse, but he didn't stop. Then we've got Nicole Scherzinger. So she was rejected for over 10 years because she told she wasn't quite good enough to be a singer. Oh, you just weren't the best dancer. But she kept going and she kept going. And finally, she joined the Pussycat Dolls. And obviously, she's been a judge on the X Factor and she's very, very famous. So she didn't give up either. Then we've got a very famous person from America. She is a chat show host, and you might have heard her name, Oprah Winfrey. Well, when she was younger, she was told she was unfit for TV, so she wasn't very good on TV. But now she's one of the most famous and rich women in America, and she didn't give up either. And then some of you will recognise J.K. Rowling. And her first Harry Potter book, The Philosopher's Stone, was actually rejected from 12 different publishers. So 12 different publishing companies wouldn't publish her book because they said it wasn't good enough. And look how big Harry Potter is today. So that tells you, children, even if things don't go smoothly straight away, you keep going and you keep going, and look what can happen. And that's the same for you as well. If you work hard and you don't give up, brilliant things can happen. Okay, and there I've just put never give up on your dreams. So make sure if you want something, you go and get it, and you keep going and you don't give up. Okay, so hopefully I will be able to find that link for you of that video, because it's very interesting to watch, and I will post that onto Dojo for you. So I hope you have a lovely rest of Aspirations Week and you enjoy all of the fabulous videos and visitors that we've got for you, because obviously I know that you've got lots of exciting things going on this week. So I will see you very soon and I hope you enjoy. Bye everybody.